Hi, thanks for tuning into this video. Here, I will show you the improvements we have made to ArcGIS Maps for Adobe Creative Cloud at the newest version 1.4. If you are already familiar with this extension, then you can see that I'm using Illustrator and the extension is already loaded, and I'm signed in as a complimentary user. So in this video, I'm going to cover a few things, but we're going to get started with some improvements to the user interface and the user experience. As you can see in the extension, I have already defined a map board or a map extent, and immediately you see a couple of improvements. One is we now have a better outline to display the map bounds. You also see that there are fewer buttons inside the map board's graphic. Instead, some of the important buttons are now available and neatly arranged to the right edge of the map board. The toolbar for both the map boards panel and the compilation panels have tools, and some of the key tools now have labels on them so you can easily find them. In the compilation window, some popular tools such as the processes window and applying a DPI are now directly accessible through the toolbar. Inside the Add Layers dialog, under the Maps for Creative Cloud node, you will notice a few new datasets that are now available: the Natural Earth, OpenStreetMap, and the USGS datasets. These are publicly available datasets that are used widely for mapping, and a subset layers of these datasets are now available directly through this extension. To this map, I'm going to add the OpenStreetMap roads layer. Now you will notice in the compilation window contents pane, since the layer did not draw, we now have an indication to tell you which layer did not draw. If you hover your mouse over the exclamation mark, it also tells you the reason for a layer not drawing. In this example, this layer is not visible at this scale. This allows you to take the next action to adjust your map if you really want to use this layer. So here I can fix my scale so that the layer becomes visible. Now that I have my map more or less looking the way I want it, I'm going to go ahead and sync this map to my Illustrator file. Now, as the map syncs, immediately you will notice that we have added some messaging to the sync file itself. In the past, it was hard to determine when the processes were complete, but these messages now indicate that the extension is still doing its work. Once complete, you will notice that we now have an improved layer structure, where each sync is identified by a unique number, letting you know the layers that were synced as a part of that sync action. Another feature that kind of helps for a similar purpose is the ability to toggle a sync on a layer. This toggle sync button lets you control which layer should or should not sync or download when you click the sync button. Also, in the compilation window, under labels, we have now added the ability to show more labels. If you remember in the past that the display of labels was optimized based on the amount of available space to show those labels. Now we have an option that lets you explicitly choose to ignore that optimization and to display all the labels if you need to do so. A quick note on this is if you choose to show all labels, that means you may have to spend more time in Illustrator after the sync to move some of the labels around to declutter your map. A new tool that we have added to the map boards panel is the ability to duplicate your map. This duplicate map board replaces the previously existing lock-unlock feature and allows you a way to easily take your design that you had defined for one map and move it over a different geographic area if you need to. The next set of features I'm about to show you requires an elevated access to the extension. At this version, we have introduced a middle tier, which is a low-cost option to subscribe to a plus level for this extension. And you can easily do that from the extension's Accounts button. Click on the plus button and sign up for a plus subscription. It will ask for some information and credit card. And once you sign up, you will have access to Esri's premium data sets. You will have the ability to use high-resolution maps, add layers and maps as favorites, and do much more. One of the capabilities that will be available is to use advanced visualization, which I'm going to show next. So I'm going to sign in to my existing Plus account. And I'm going to work on the map that I previously started to design. This is a map built over San Diego downtown. And we at Esri host our annual user conference at the San Diego Convention Center, which is in downtown. So what I want to do in this map is I want to add some advanced visualization. I want to design a map that displays walking distances from the convention center. I have a layer in this map which is represented by this blue dot, which is the convention center. And from this layer, I want to visualize how much distance is covered within 5, 10, and 15 minutes of the convention center. So I can create a map of walking areas around the convention center or places to stay nearby. There are a couple of new tools available for visualization: create a geographic offset, visualize travel time, and add demographic data. Now, our documentation gives information about each of these tools. For now, I'm going to use the visualize travel time. This allows me to measure a walking time at 5, 10, and 15-minute intervals from the San Diego Convention Center. So I'm going to kick off the analysis. And as this runs, let me show you the functionality matrix. This is a document in our online help that describes all the different capabilities that you will have access to based on the different license levels. So it tells you what is available under Complimentary, Plus, or ArcGIS Online Access level. It's a great place to come and see what is available and decide what will work best for you or your organization. So as you see, the analysis is done, and after it's done, it adds a new layer to my table of contents that displays the travel time from my convention center. I'm going to sync this map. And after the sync is complete, I can style it to add it to a publication or a promotional flyer for an event at the convention center. And the last thing I want to show is we have added a couple of new processes. As map makers, we often need to add more information to our map besides the map itself. So in our processes, we have added 2 new processes to add extra map information, such as for the map scale and the map legend. To show you an example, the map legend uses the layers in your Illustrator file, and it uses the styles that you may have added to it to build a map legend or a map key. So once I run it, it creates a different legend. It creates a legend on its own different layer. So now I can use this legend that got created, style it or tweak it to meet my map aesthetics and use it in my project. So there you go, folks. Lots of new information was shared about what's new at version 1.4, the new Plus level that's available, new visualization tools, new improvements to the user interface. We hope that you will continue to enjoy this extension. And if you run into any issues, please feel free to reach out to us on our forums. Thank you for watching. Happy mapping.